Thanks for joining me. This is video number 12, Key Passages of the Summa Theologia. And as you know, we are going through the attributes of God. We had God is simple and God is perfect. And then we talked about the relationship between the perfection of God and the perfection of things that we experience on a regular basis. Okay, now the next attribute of God that we're going to get into is that God is good. But before that, Thomas takes a little break and he hits taps the brakes a little bit because he wants to again establish the relationship between the created world, that which we experience, and goodness itself. And I find this one of the most intriguing articles of the Summa. And you're probably thinking, why do you have a picture of a mosquito on the screen here? And this is very important because, as we're going to learn here in a moment, the mosquito is good, okay? Even though you may not feel like it's good, of course, it carries diseases and it sucks our blood and it's kind of a nuisance and we just want to slap it. But why is the mosquito good? Well, here is the question that Thomas asks, whether goodness differs really from being, okay? Now listen to what he says here and tie it into the mosquito. Goodness and being are really the same and differ only in idea, which is clear from the following argument. The essence of goodness consists in this, that it is in some way desirable. Hence the philosopher Aristotle says goodness is what all desire. Now it is clear that a thing is desirable only insofar as it is perfect, for all desire their own perfection. But everything is perfect so far as it is actual. Therefore, it is clear that a thing is perfect so far as it exists. Okay? Isn't that revolutionary? Mere existence of a thing, which means it has being, means that it has a element of perfection in it. For it is existence that makes all things actual. Hence, it is clear that goodness and being are really the same. But goodness presents the aspect of desirableness, which being does not present. And so just because something exists doesn't necessarily mean it's desirable, but the goodness of it, which is tied into its existence, is the desirableness, which means it has a certain degree of perfection, okay? Talked about actuality there. Remember, God is pure act, no potentiality. So God is ultimately good to the millionth degree. Okay, God is goodness itself. Goodness in God is not a quality, it's who he is. It's his essence. God is good. Remember, all the things in God are the same. And so the next time you see something that you would think would be annoying, like a scorpion or a snake or a mosquito, you begin to look at things a little bit differently because you realize that they exist. And that means they have being, and that means they have goodness. And the only difference between goodness and being is by way of perception or degrees, but there's a real correlation there between those two. Okay? This may help you see the world a little bit differently. All things are good, okay? Your worst enemy or the thing that you think is a nuisance or that barking dog next door, it is good because it has existence, which means it has being, okay? Thanks for joining me. This is video number 12, Key Passages of the Summa Theologia.